everyone, and welcome to May Mission Madness, our series where we cover all of the Mission Impossible movies. And we're on our fifth one, which means we are covering Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation! Woo!
With me today, we have.
It's me, Emily. You may know me from lots of places, let's be real. You know me.
And this series of videos that we've been doing.
It's true, yeah. If you've watched any of the previous videos, I'm in them. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't watched any of the previous videos, go fucking watch them after this one.
It's pretty good so far. I'd say they're pretty fun. Definitely go check out what they said in the last one.
Yeah, but the Burj Khalifa?
Oh, yeah. Don't say anything else. Let them be surprised.
Jeez. Well, today we get to talk about a really good movie. Not that Ghost Protocol isn't a good movie, but Rogue Nation, man.
Oh, my God. This one is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
This is where, in my opinion, consistency just follows this franchise. It's just like hit after hit after hit. And I gotta give credit to Christopher McQuarrie because of that.
Yeah, I agree.
He brought an energy to this franchise that was much needed. The cool thing about this movie, it is kind of somewhat connected to the last one, in that in the last movie, at the very end of the movie, Ethan gets the dossier or the message saying, hey, there is a international ring of spies called the Syndicate, and at the start of this movie, Ethan is on the hunt for the Syndicate members. As part of the other thing, continuing on with Ghost Protocol, the IMF is still disbanded, and so like Benji is doing his own thing, Brandt is a member of the CIA, Luther is just retired, and Ethan is on the run because the government is after him.
Yes! And holy shit, does it do so much for his character.
Oh my god, yeah. The cool thing about Ethan Hunt throughout most of these movies, and we really haven't talked about it much, is that he is so focused on just getting shit done.
Yeah.
And when he comes across a thing that he's just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, it's fascinating to see this kind of version of Ethan where it's like the metaphor of like an animal caught in a trap. Like, he's ready to just lose everything just to get these guys. And it's really fascinating to watch. I mean, at one point you see that he's just been so dead focused on getting these guys that he's grown a beard, working out all the time. He's full on like Unabomber at one point in this movie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that's a way of putting it, but yeah.
I guess you'd say nomadic.
Yeah.
Man with no nation.
Very isolated.
Yes, isolated. And I think like that's really fascinating to watch this character who's throughout this entire movie, it brings a little bit of that paranoia back from the first movie. In that he's just kind of on his own. He has to figure everything out. Towards the end of the movie, he's just like, Solomon Lane knows all the moves that we're going to make, so we have to account for everything that we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just, he just freaks out over this stuff, and like they're like, Ethan, calm down.
I like Ethan being a more intense character in these latter Mission Impossible movies.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting. I think that Mission Impossible and Rogue Nation is a very specific example of this, is a good exercise in how to modernize a franchise well, I think.
Fuck yeah, you're so right.
What I mean by that is I think that the style of movie that the older Mission Impossible films had fallen out of vogue by the time that they were making these new ones. Uh-huh. People were preferring their movies grittier. Right, we were starting to get into the advent of like superhero movies being the kind of like more lighthearted stuff that everyone goes to see. Mm-hmm. And I think that this franchise adopted the let's do political thriller so well in a way that I don't think I could have possibly imagined. It feels such like a good fit and takes the, earnest but and still sort of tense tone from the previous movies and just kind of shreds that goofiness into a really cool new tone that I absolutely love.
I agree. And not to like just say that this movie's like nothing but intensity, it's super self-serious. This film has a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of funny moments in this movie. Specifically, like, I mean, we'll talk about the stunt in particular, but there's a moment where like Ethan has his heart resuscitated and he's kind of in this like daze, and Benji's just like, are you fit to drive? And he's just like, yeah, I'm good. Like that little moment is just like, oh shit, and then he proceeds to do a lot of really cool car and motorcycle stuff. But there's little moments like that that are like really funny, and they also let Simon Pegg just have fun.
Yeah, he chews the hell out of the role in this movie, and it's awesome.
You good?
Things got a little out of hand.
Ah! Look out!
This is where I'm like, oh, okay, Ethan and Benji, this is the cool duo. And there's another moment where like Luther and Brant are after Ethan and Benji, and there's a moment where Ethan's in a car and he like fishtails, and Luther and Brant are just in this 4x4, and they just like nod at each other like, hey, hey, and then you just continue on with the action scene. It is so funny, just like little moments like that are like character beats. It's character humor, where it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're just like, these are just coworkers and pals.
What I like about it is that it feels humorous, but not in a way that's like disruptive to the tone. I think that that's a thing movies can really struggle with. I've seen a lot of movies struggle with that. Of like, we want to do jokes, but we don't know how to like integrate that well into the tone.
Oh yeah, like it's, to me, this is like when you brought up like, oh yeah, the MCU, Marvel movies and stuff like that. This is when like around the time the MCU was like handling the humor better. Like this is like Winter Soldier, Civil War time.
Yeah.
Where like, okay, the jokes in that movie work because it's completely character-based humor, yada yada yada. I don't know. I have to find a certain quote, but I think Tom Cruise and Christopher McQuarrie said they looked at the success of the Marvel movies and seen what they were doing and tried to like not ape what they're doing, but kind of see what works with those movies, with the interconnectivity and the humor and the political nature that they were starting to get into, and try to adapt that into the films. And from what you said, they've just nailed it.
No, I fully agree. And it's interesting because to me, what I remember about that era of the MCU was the jokes not being handled well. Looking at you, Age of Ultron.
I think Age of Ultron did come out the same year as this, but that's why I say like Winter Soldier, Civil War time. But go on.
Well, I remember it specifically in comparison to Age of Ultron because it feels so much more naturally integrated here in a way that fits the tone without disrupting it, in a way that I was not feeling with Marvel movies at the time.
Oh yeah.
Marvel movies in that era, which were the sort of dominant like popcorn cinema that this was also kind of in the space of, which is why it's relevant. I'm not just talking about Marvel movies, talking about Marvel movies, right? But like,
yeah, we're talking about movies in general, and Tom Cruise is like, he's wanting to be cinema incarnate. He's like, I love movies. This is what I love about movies. So I would imagine he would see what the zeitgeist is at the time and see what's working. Love it or not, in my opinion, I do love it. I love Marvel movies, and I think they are a factor of cinema that we do have to at least look at and see why it works. Yeah. And I will admit why it hasn't worked for the most part.
So I agree and disagree. Well, I mostly agree. But like, the thing I think is so interesting is that it was at a time for Marvel movies where I was starting to get really exasperated with the fact that it felt like the movies were running out of stakes and the jokes and the drama were not melding well. I remember even as a little shitty 12-year-old or however old I was when Age of Ultron came out. That would have been 2014?
15.
15? Okay, I was 13. And even then, I remember going to watch Age of Ultron and being like, hey, wait a second. None of the things that characters are doing in these movies, or in this movie, make sense with like things that they've done in prior movies. Yeah. And Mission Impossible, by contrast, felt like it kept that serious gravitas to it while also incorporating those lighthearted elements, just in a way that felt less disruptive and more like, oh, these are still the characters that we care about.
Also, to go off your Age of Ultron thing, this movie also handles a Black Widow-esque character way better than the movie was Black Widow.
Very true.
Like, Rebecca Ferguson, man, holy shit. She is incredible as Elsa.
Oh, yeah.
She came onto the scene, was just like, boom. Like, the first moment with Ethan getting interrogated, like, she's really cool there. And then the entire opera scene is so fucking awesome. Yeah. And so well done. And I love how they play with music in it too, especially like opera music. And it's just really well done. And it's going back to Rebecca Ferguson. That fucking dress, man. Oh my God.
100%. And I mean, she was so good that she's a woman who returns in another movie.
Yeah, she's not at the bottom of the Burj Khalifa. Oh, wait, that's Bond.
Yeah. They didn't throw her off the bottom of the Burj Khalifa.
They throw them out of planes in the Mission Impossible. All right, come on, go.
But no, she's great. I also remember her being super awesome, but I mostly remember her being super awesome in Fallout because that's my favorite one. Yeah, but she's super awesome here too. She plays a great character.
I know there's a lot of like, especially with like the femme fatale character, there's a lot of like double crossing, and there's like a lot of themes of like, oh, you can't trust a pretty woman kind of thing. But what I love about this film is that they don't really do that. She is pretty, yes, But that's just not her character. It's not like Mission Impossible 2 where it was just objectifying her. No, Elsa's a character who has been betrayed by her own country. She can't go home. She has to work for this underground syndicate that she herself does not trust or really follow their beliefs, but she just has to do it because it's her mission. And the only person that she can really relate to is Ethan, who is himself disavowed by his own country. And so you could see why these two characters want to work with each other, but just logistically can't.
Yeah.
And it's so fun to see her play these multiple layers to this character in really a fun and interesting way.
No, she really brought it to this role, and it's awesome to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great role, and they got a great actress to do it.
Yeah.
No notes.
I will say the main stunt for this film, which was like, hey, this is the big Tom Cruise stunt that they do, is just at the beginning they have him hang on the edge of a plane.
And it's cool. I'm
cool.
going to say it.
It's
it
really
cool.
impressive, but I'm going to be real. It does not have anything to do with the plot.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, it's just there.
It's there. It's cool. I mean, it's the Tom Cruise stunt show. It's like, what does he do today? But the one that impressed me more was the scene where he's underwater for 5 minutes without an oxygen tank.
Yeah.
That scene.
Super impressive.
Yeah. Really cool.
All the motorcycle stunts in this movie are also super incredibly well done, too.
Dude. Even and the car stuff too, man. They're really good. I don't know what it is about Christopher McQuarrie, but he knows how to film a good car chase.
Oh yeah,
like he knows exactly what works, how to shoot it, the right speed. There's one move that he does where he like pulls the parking brake and it spins at one point. It hits multiple people on motorcycles. I was like, "Fuck yes, that is awesome."
Iconic.
So good. I'm like, that is so fucking cool. And it looks practical. There's like one shot where they like flip the car backwards. It's very CG, but I'm like, that's fine. You get one.
At least it's not the like bad early Mission Impossible CG.
Exactly, yeah. And I love the sound effects. And just I'm not usually a person to point out sound effects, but like good job on the Foley work with like the clutch and the braking, like the tires, and just like, oh man, you could smell the rubber.
It's awesome. It's just such a technically well-made movie.
It's also tense too because again, as we were talking about with the humor earlier, Ethan just came back to life.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh shit, is he still going to do this?
The answer, probably not, but he's going to do it anyways.
He's, gonna do it. He's got that weird snakeskin jacket.
Yeah.
I think there's two things I want to talk about real quick. One, the villain.
Oh yeah.
Solomon Lane is so fucking creepy.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the actor. Oh, shit. Sean Harris, that's his name.
Yes.
The only other movie I've seen him in is Prometheus. And man, did he like, I'm not letting that be my legacy.
Oh, he was also in the Green Knight.
Oh,
cool.
Wasn't he King Arthur?
Yeah, he's King Arthur.
Okay, yeah, cool. Oh, yeah, okay, cool. Bottom line, Sean Harris in this film is just so creepy as the head of the syndicate. And you can buy why people follow him.
Yeah.
He's charismatic in an interesting way, and that, like, he has a weird way of speaking. And he just has this weird cadence to his voice that's, like, really, like, raspy, but also quiet and a low pitch. It's a very unique voice that only he has. He just nails it for this particular character, and it makes the syndicate as a whole like a terrifying concept.
Yeah.
And you also kind of feel bad for them because like you find out how the syndicate was made. It was like, yeah, the British MI5 was like, we need a team of people to do the things that we cannot do. So we're going to set up like all these disavowed agents from their respected countries and just give them a bunch of money and have them do missions for us that we can't do. So they're kind of like their own version of an IMF with no rules really. But then the program gets canceled. So all these people who have no real direction in life now are being followed by are now following this one guy. You kind of understand where they're all coming from. I don't know. It's just such a unique premise for this movie.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like the film feels fleshed out in a really good way. And that's impressive for a fifth film in the franchise.
Yeah. I mean, I think this plot element, because it's a plot element that they go on to fucking reuse in future movies, right? Like, I think the Syndicate work super well. And I like how much they contrast Ethan and play into the, like, yeah, they're really not all that different, but not in, like, a cheap, we're not so different, you and I, type villain twist way, but in a way where it's like, no, it actually, the plot has earned this. Like, it has actually earned these characters being similar by making the plot so intrinsically about that, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about the villains. Oh shit, I do have a note here in my notes that I do want to say for the villain. Yeah, anyone with that haircut is a bad man.
Did you just like write that down?
I did.
That's incredible.
I'm sorry, with that haircut that he has, I'm like, yeah, no shit, you're evil. You have those thick frame glasses, squinty face, and this fucking awful haircut. I'm like, yeah, I could sniff you out.
Like, he didn't even try to not look evil. He was just like, I'm gonna dress the part. Fuck it.
In all black too. Yeah, I just had to point that out. I was like, yeah, okay, no shit, you're the villain. And the other thing I really wanted to say, there's one line that Alec Baldwin says that is so fucking ridiculous that it makes me laugh. But I'm like, I guess this is the franchise now, and it's
Hunt is uniquely trained and highly motivated. A specialist without equal, immune to any countermeasures. There is no secret he cannot extract, no security he cannot breach, no person he cannot become. He has most likely anticipated this very conversation and is waiting to strike in whatever direction we move. Sir, Hunt is the living manifestation of destiny, and he has made you his mission.
But at this point, fuck it. Ethan Hunt has become a legend.
I think that's awesome for the 5th movie in a franchise. Like, yeah, sure.
I mean, if you save the world 4 different times at this point, I guess you just gotta be like, man, there's something about this guy.
Yeah, it's like Tom Cruise is playing him or something. He's just got like that mojo.
Yeah, he's got the arrogance of someone who produces these movies.
Yeah, well, I'm just imagining, right? Like, imagine you're in like a Truman Show scenario, and it turns out that the person playing you is like the fucking producer of the film. Yeah, I'd be like, oh shit, I have this omnipotent power.
Yeah, and the final act of this movie is so well done. I mean, yeah, Benji's captured and he's being threatened, and I love the moment where it's just like Ethan finally gets the upper hand on these fuckers by memorizing all of the bank accounts that they needed, and he's just like, here, I can prove it. Take $5 million off of this account here, and the
fucking physical manifestation of destiny, baby.
Well, here's the thing that I realized. It kind of brings it back to the first movie in that one scene where he has the knock list and he has 2 different versions, and he's trying to bluff with Jean Reno. You could think that he only memorized that one bank account and was just like, that's all I got to work with. I got to play my hand exactly like this. Because there's no way you can memorize all that banking information. But him being the physical manifestation of destiny, maybe.
Yes, if anyone could do it, it would be the character played by Tom Cruise.
Exactly. But it is kind of fun to think, like, does he know it? I don't know. Just like,
yeah.
I never really thought of it until right now. Like, oh yeah, he could be fucking with them.
It would be a good bluff. Very Ethan Hunt of them.
Very Ethan Hunt. Yeah. Great movie. Is there anything else you guys say? I've been talking a lot, and I apologize.
No, not really. I mean, I think this movie is fucking awesome as hell. Mm-hmm. I don't have like too many more comments. I just think this movie's sick and deserves all of the praise in the world because it's so fucking good and cool.
Oh yeah. And I can't believe I could say this. This isn't even my favorite one. The next one is my favorite.
And it's not even close somehow.
Crazy. That is crazy. But yeah, tune in next time where we're going to cover Mission Impossible Fallout, which might be the best one. Or, you know what? Fuck it. It is.
We're going to gush about Mission Impossible Fallout, and it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great. And yeah. Like this video if you like what we had to say. Subscribe so you can see the next video in our franchise, in our Mission Madness series.
No. It's our franchise now. We took it.
Yep.
It's ours.
Leave a comment down below what you think of this movie.
Subscribe to our Patreon if you want to hear the uncensored version of this episode.
Ooh, naughty. Yeah, that's all we got to say. Have a good day. Bye.
This video will self-destruct in 3, 2, 1.